Them's on this court right now. The Drake Bulldogs at 12-0, facing a UIC team that's won 4 straight. And we open 2025 with a bang. Happy New Year to you and to your families. Here's Drake's starting lineup, led by the first-year head coach, Ben McCollum. And it really starts and ends with Bennett Sturtz. Up top, it's Abreu. And now sharpshooter from Geneva, Illinois, Mitch Mascari gets his pocket picked. Henderson, and then Manyao takes it right back for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Sammy, we're going to see just a point of emphasis by the Drake Bulldogs early and often to get at least 2 guys back in transition to stop not only easy baskets, but the 3, which is what the Flames love looking for off of early transition.
Now, something to watch in this game, undoubtedly, is pace. Few teams play a slower pace than Drake, the 4th slowest team in the country. And now winding down the shot clock to 2. Jackson with an air ball. It's a violation, Flames ball.
Yeah, to your point, Sam, you talk about pace in the coaching circles. We call that deliberate basketball. You know, it's a style of basketball meant to find the best possible shot.
Flames starting lineup for the first-year head coach, Rob Eson. Hey, a battle of rookie head coaches, at least in the context of their programs. Both of them come from previous head coaching stops. The big man, Siani, down low, and he loses his first battle.
Well, and this is the matchup we really want to see early, that if the Flames do get in a half-court setting, that they make it a priority to get the ball down to Siani with 2 feet in the basket. I don't think Drake has anyone that can contest or block his 2-foot, one-hand jump shot.
Starts weaving, and Manyao finishing. Drake on the board. If there's any big man to contend with Siani, it's the 6'8" Manyao, who forces another steal.
Well, active hands, always the sign of a really good active defense, and Drake has that early on this early afternoon game.
Sturtz plunging in, another feed, another finish for Manyao.
Yeah, that's a tough action to guard, kind of the 15-foot elbow extended open side ball screen. You have to be early and violent in how you attack that, so you can't allow that little drop-down pocket pass.
Flames playing against one of the best offenses in the country. Drake gives up only 56 points per game. That's second best in the nation. 3 on the clock, and another turnover forced as the Flames run out of time.
Well, you know, I mean, this is a suffocating defense to play against, but it's one of the oldest defenses in the book, the pack line, okay? And so we talk about the keys to Drake for winning this: offensive patience, which we've seen early, make the Flames work on defense. 3-point proficiency, they hit about 7 a game. I think they need to hit about 10 to win this one, and then contain the UIC Flame transition, which is so lethal.
When the Flames get out and run, that's when they win, but Drake doesn't let many teams do that, as Sturtz is on the board for the first time.
Yeah, they're just making it too easy right now. The Flames need to force him to the baseline, keep him out of the paint.
3 minutes in, UIC still scrapping for their first bucket. Mason probing. Schkobal, a 3. Not there. Siani, offensive board number 1. Siani right back up on the board.
Every possession. That's what needs to happen every possession. Against this pack line defense that they run, your spacing has to be extreme. I'm talking extreme to where you're either getting 1 or 2 dribble penetration for a wide open 3, or you're just dropping it down low so nobody can help on the block.
And Siani leads the conference in offensive rebounds. So his first leads to 2 as Abreu threw it into a foot. So kickball as we take a look at our keys to the game for the Flames.
Yeah, they need to push the issue. They have to get 70 points or above if they want to win this game. Pound the paint like we just saw with Sasha Siani. Every possession you should be looking at him. And then one and done on defense. Don't give Drake any second chances to back the ball out and get 20, 30 seconds off the shot per possession.
Sturtz to Manyao again. You say the Flames need to score 70. Drake gives up only 56 a game, so tall task as Abreu goes airball on 3.
That was a great defensive possession for the Flames. They contained the open side ball screen, forced a challenge 3 for an airball.
Freeman a three. A little strong. Flames have missed their first two. And this ball rolls. Where's it going? They say Flames ball. But first, we come to our first timeout. They said Drake could defend, right? And the Flames have 2 points in the opening 4 and change. Back in Chicago, New Year continues after this.
Jeremy Piven went to Drake.
Remember Jeremy Piven
Chicago
in Entourage,
native.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Chicago native.
just wonderful performances, and I guess he really cut his teeth out in Des Moines. Okay, so Drake with a smothering defensive start. Flames are shooting just 1 of 4 so far. Here goes Ciani for UIC. The big man from Slovenia with the left hand.
Yeah, every play against the pack line defense that Drake runs, helping down on the post is a tough thing to do, and it's not part of the priority unless you double team.
And an offensive foul with a moving screen by Manyao.
Yeah.
Gives it right back.
You know, Drake does such a good job in their ball exchanges, Sam, and then in their ball screens to where they're effective because they make contact. You don't see a lot of teams do that anymore. And every now and then you're going to get a call where the guy setting the screen doesn't get his feet set. You have to give the defensive player half a step for it to be legal. It's just going to happen every now and then if you're setting good ball screens like Drake does so often.
Tell me what to watch in this Drake defense, the pack line defense that's so efficient.
Yeah, so they basically just do what's called loading towards the ball.
Jackson gets fouled, so next up, free throw line.
So if the ball's on the wing and you have an offensive player at the top of the key and on the baseline, their defenders are not going to be face guarding essentially their man. They're going to be in the driving lanes to clog up any type of dribble penetration. So there's 2 things you can do. You can either space out a lot or you can pass the ball effectively and quickly to get some sort of movement from that defense. But against a pack line defense, Sammy, it's very difficult to drive for the ball carrier to drive to his immediate left or his immediate right.
And Jackson brings the Flames to within 1. Really hard to do anything against Drake this year, and that's what so many teams have experienced. I mean, 10 of their 12 opponents have had season lows in scoring against these Bulldogs.
And that's for 2 reasons. I mean, obviously they're amazing defensive systems, but also with how methodical, to your point, on offense, it limits the number of possessions per game.
And here they go, down to 8 in the shot clock. Still no rush. Sturts, patient, and he drops it in.
Yeah, again, just bad on-ball defense by the Flames that time, Sammy. Little bit of confusion, 2-on-1. And then none on one. And anytime you give a player like Sturts a wide open 15-footer, it's going in.
None on one is never going to be a winning formula.
Yeah.
Conslaris, little baseline drive and an offensive foul. Gives it back to Drake.
Yeah, it looks like he might have done a little hooky-loo there, driving baseline. But, you know, to our point earlier, and we were looking at this early in the game about pace of play, you know, Drake's pace of play is certainly lower, and that not only limits your offensive possessions, but it limits the opposition's offensive possessions as well.
And Drake's hit 4 of their last 5 shots. Scoring about 74 a game. They don't need to score much to win, though, as Abreu misses his second 3. Offensive board for Banks. And here goes Abreu again. Back up top, Jackson with a move on Pickett. Abreu whirling by Ciani, and then too strong.
Yeah, Abreu did a good job of recognizing the mismatch with Ciani on him, just couldn't finish that time.
Flames with some of their reserves in, including Mo Conslaris, big man out of Lithuania.
And see what the Flames are doing right now, just kind of passing the ball around, hoping to get some one-on-one. You look at, there's almost 3, sometimes 4 guys within 10 to 15 feet of the ball. You're not going to get any good looks doing that.
How about that move from Mason? Ciani cleans and a foul.
I mean, that's your offense right there. Sasha Ciani, get him the ball within 7 feet of the basket and a chance to tie this game up. Drake literally, especially with this lineup, does not have anyone that can match up with him height-wise or length-wise. And we see little penetration here on Sturts, and there's that pack-line defense help. In the mission, Ciani just straight up using his length and the nice finish.
6'9", 240 out of Nova Gorica, Slovenia. No one in the Missouri Valley has more double-doubles, and now Ciani has 7 of UIC's points. And look, that's all of them.
Yeah, nobody in the Missouri Valley can call Luka Doncic their teammate as Sasha Ciani with the Slovenian national team.
That was at the 2023 FIBA World Cup, teaming up with one of the world's best as UIC goes full court, forces a turnover.
Yeah, Coach McCollum definitely doesn't like that one. Just a little bit of token pressure from the Flames on a mild half-court trap, and Drake turns it over.
Ciani on the bench now, you saw. So he actually has 7 of UIC's 8 points. Javon Jackson has the other.
And right now, Philip Skobal.
And Consolaris for 2.
Well, I mean, he had to go through the grater just to get that. I mean, that was a tough possession and a physical finish by Consolaris. But Philip Skobal with big-time mismatch down low.
Sturts so patient, and you can count it. Foul on Consolaris.
So, again, battle of the wills here, Sam. Drake with a small, mobile team, and the Flames going a little bit bigger. And Skobal and Consolaris typically are outside-type players. They're not post players.
Right.
And in this scenario, they're going to get switched up on some of these smaller guards from Drake, and they're going to have to learn to keep them in front. You know, at the very least, you want to have a challenge 15-footer, but don't just let somebody blow by you and then foul with a score and an intent for a three-point play as well.
And Sturts has been doing plenty of that. He has 7 of their 10 points. He hasn't missed a shot. No one in the country has played more minutes this season than Bennett Sturts as Mason finishes.
That was a great play call by Coach Eason that time because he spaced everyone up above the three-point line and used Drake's defense against that time with how tight that they're playing the Flames. That little rub screen worked perfectly.
And Sturts, pocket picked. It's going to stay here.
Yeah, this is an interesting lineup Coach McCollum has in right now. We'll see how much longer he stays with it. This group really isn't clicking that well. So, as Coach McCollum's telling his team, he said everybody's hugging, which means there's going to be opportunities for backdoors.
Down 1, the 12-0 Drake Bulldogs. That efficient offense led by Sturts. Here they go to work under 5. Sturts the 3. Bingo!
I mean, it just in Missouri Valley Conference basketball at this level, with a player like Sturts, you cannot go underneath on a ball screen with him, especially with the athleticism that the Flames have on defense. Really nice play by Sturts.
10 points. He now has double figures in all 13 games this season. He's on the ball now. High pressure to Mason. Mason muscles by him, loses it, and another Drake steal. Here the Bulldogs go. Sturts. And to Banks for the finish.
Yeah, I have to credit Drake with just quick transition offense from turnovers. Very effective, very efficient.
And they forced 5 today. Skobal's second 3 is off. Henderson the board.
He's got to take that. I mean, it was a challenge shot, but he's got to take those to be effective.
Pickett, left-handed finish.
Well, the Flames are doing a good job of just picking up a lot of garbage and finishing it here, Sammy. You know, Drake with the height disadvantage at this point right now, and the Flames using their length and athleticism on the offensive boards well.
9 second chance points for the Flames, none yet for Drake. Now, we've talked a lot about Drake's defense. UIC leads the Valley in rebounding, as we'll stay here after some tips and take another timeout. So entertaining one. Just
for the past 2 years, and so I've seen him play a fair bit, and really just one of the most well-respected coaches in the game, period. And his team always plays the game the right way, always has good kids.
And Abreu cashes for 3. Good look right out of the timeout.
Yeah, the Flames just not doing a good job of communicating on defense at all, Sam.
Now time to communicate on offense.
Yeah, again, mismatch down low. Get the ball to Skobal.
Henderson goes low to Pickett, a little slide and off the glass.
You know, I love Pickett around the rim. He is so effective. Just a little delay of game call for Pickett. throwing the ball down. But Pickett is so strong and athletic around the rim. If he uses that athleticism and can bring 8 points and 4 boards a game just doing stuff like that for the Flames, that helps them out tremendously.
He and Schobel, just 2 returners for UIC in terms of regular rotation players. He's one of them as Drake coughs it up for the 5th time.
Yeah, this little 1-2-2 half-court, three-quarter court press by the Flames is really disrupting the Bulldogs, which you wouldn't expect to see.
Rob Eson looking to lead UIC to a signature conference win against unbeaten Drake. Freeman's open. Freeman, 4-3.
Well, that's what you have to do against the Drake defense. That time, that was a perfect example on the penetration. I believe it was Henderson, got almost triple teamed, which means somebody's open. That time it was Freeman. He stepped up and knocked it down.
Flames are shooting 62% against a top defensive unit. Sturts goes to work. He is so dangerous as he goes down low. Banks for 2.
Yeah, really heads-up play and awareness by Sturts that time. And again, the Flames not communicating on the ball or off the ball on defense, and it's killing them every single time.
10 points and 5 assists halfway through the first.
It's amazing the amount of assists per game Drake has, how effective and unselfish their offense is.
And then Mason has the response.
Well, right now the Flames just finding a real chink in the armor of the Drake defense, continuing to go down the middle, force the help from the Drake defense to leave somebody wide open or get a good look like that.
A tie game after 12 minutes. Drake a little frustrated on New Year's Day in Chicago. We're under 10 on the shot clock again. Sturts. Banks. 15-footer is offensive rebounded by Jackson. Then he throws it into the backcourt. That will be Drake turnover number 6.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about what Coach Eson's probably thinking after this break here, buddy.
Drake's 12-0 on the ropes early. 21-all in Chicago. Chicago 21-all in a matchup between undefeated Drake and a UIC team that's won 4 straight. Sam Brief, Chris Sparks, our crew with you. Happy New Year. We got to try to bust you with some trivia now. Drake's one of 4 unbeatens. Who are the other 3? Something to chew on as we come down the wire in the first, and a 3-point miss gives the ball back to Drake.
Yeah, so before we went to that break, Sam, talking about Coach Eson, that last possession, the Flames really have to tighten. Even though they're doing a better job on defense, they can be doing better. They have to communicate more, and then they have to get the rebound. That last possession, the shot went up. Everybody took off down the other end. Drake got the offensive board.
Sturts down to Magnow.
Yeah, and again, just that is off-ball help side communication or lack thereof by the Flames. You have to communicate about who's on the ball, on your switches, and where you are covering your teammate.
And then Jackson slices through a little strong. So here comes Drake in transition. Sturts, it's like 1-on-4. Smart to pull it up, here he goes. Sturts over Ciani, not there, but the tip for Magnow is.
Yeah, this Drake lineup, Coach McCollum changed it up significantly more effective than the previous one he had in. And again, the Flames struggling to guard the on-ball screen of the Bulldogs.
And now Drake has hit 7 of their last 8 shots.
Yep.
Ciani to Jackson. Back to the big man and a foul against Abreu.
Perfect play by the Flames that time, and heads up play by Jackson to Ciani. Didn't have the position he liked as we see him try and back down, and he kicks it back out to Jackson and then immediately repost up. That's a highly skilled big man thing to do, and heads up play for Jackson to get the ball back to him.
Now the post up for Schobel leads to a bucket.
Yeah, again, just all day, really, the Bulldogs do not have anyone that can match up against the size of Schobel or the length of Ciani.
UIC just the bigger team. And only down 2 as a Drake offensive foul will give it back to the Flames. And Coach McCollum is a bit peeved.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't like that one, but that was all on his team. The You know, the Bulldogs, we can see the play here coming down. Their off-ball contact, just a little too physical that time, trying to get open. I believe that was Mascari trying to get open, initiated too much contact.
They've coughed it up 7 times. Still with the lead, though. And here's Skobal again on the post.
And look at this perfect defense by Drake, the help side there. That's a tough shot. I mean, that is a tough shot by Skobal, but you can just see literally everyone from Drake has a foot in the paint, but you can take advantage of that if you're the Flames by continuing to go one-on-one or space it out.
And the Flames can space. They can score in a hurry, too. Over 80 a game this year. It's Sturts. Kiss it off the glass.
I mean, just heads-up play by Coach McCollum and Sturts to keep doing this little 15 to 18-foot ball screen because Siani or Skobal are playing so far off the ball in that pick-and-roll defense, Sam, that they're just giving wide-open 5- and 7-footers to Drake. If I'm Coach Eson at this time, we're either going to trap that ball screen or hard hedge it, but you can't keep doing this little zone up and giving these Drake Bulldogs, and especially Sturts, wide open shots.
Watching Sturts just carve them up. 12 points, 6 assists, and only 1 turnover in the opening 15. Sturts has been the pulse, the heartbeat of this Drake team. As Mason gets tied up, jump ball will keep it with UIC.
Right now, if I'm Coach Eson, I'm running a set play here that's going to get an immediate post touch and deep, wide spacing for either Siani or Skobal.
You want them to keep going into these bigs, and they go to Skobal right away. Listen to Coach Sparks.
Yep.
Skobal, hard fall-away shot, and Manyao boards it.
Yeah, and just not the look that you wanted. Good job by the Bulldog defense that time, forcing Skobal out that far on the initial catch.
Good job by that Bulldog defense, something you could say probably 100 times throughout any game. A machine of a unit. Right now up 2 as Sturts goes down. Mascari, a sharpshooter. Back to Sturts, open for 2.
You know, that time Siani got switched out onto Sturts, and he played out too far trying to, because he knows Sturts is a good three-point shooter, let the wide open back door. Just a heads-up play by the Bulldogs.
Sturts with a first half show in Chicago, and Pickett is strong on his first 3. The Flames have struggled from downtown, 1 of 6. On the season, they shoot just a little under 40%. Now Drake, so methodical. 15 seconds before even making a move. Up top here, Sturts. The heartbeat. Mascari, the sharpshooter. That was a little too audacious.
I don't know what Coach McCollum was trying to do there, but the Bulldogs on the floor didn't execute it at all.
And poked away by Manyao. Pickett takes it back. Now Mason. Just a bit strong. So Flames maybe a bit too rushed. And Drake can take its sweet time. The 4th slowest team out of 365 in the nation. And then Siani says, get that alley-oop out of here. With 3 to go in the first.
Everyone I've ever known that has an econ degree has turned out they're doing all right.
They're buying the drinks. In case you're wondering at home, neither of us has an econ degree, but great to be with you on New Year's Day. Drake UIC, 3rd conference game for both teams. Both coming off of wins. For Drake, it was at home against Belmont. UIC went down to Illinois State, came out with victory. 5 on the clock for Sturts. He goes outside to Howard, and the 2nd Drake shot clock violation.
Yeah, really solid adjustment by Coach Eson and his staff that time. They took Siani out and put Consolaris in there, and you could see the difference in how they're guarding the ball screen. There's more pressure on the ball, and again, another Bulldog turnover.
They have 8 of them. It's kept the window open for the Flames. Freeman down to Consolaris. Big Mo, the spin. And he gets it swatted away by Manyao.
Well, again, you have to like the look of the Flames going down there, but Contreras taking his time here, as we see, but he takes so much time he loses sight of the help coverage, and his teammates didn't yell at him, hey, coverage coming. Somebody had to be open there. Heads up play by the Drake defense.
What a swat by Manyao, the transfer from Wyoming, who came with former Wyoming and current Drake teammate Cale Combs from Laramie. Skobal short on a 3.
Yeah, Flames have to get something going. Quite a scoring drought at this point. They got to get an early transition basket, something, a foul, someone to get to the free throw line to see the ball go through the net.
Almost 4 minutes without a Flames bucket. Manyao in the high post, left hand, bit short. Here goes Jackson. Carving in transition. Just gets bullied out of there. So Flames got to reset the offense. And down low, Contreras. You can count it.
We'll see if they're actually going to count this one. Yeah, they're calling it out of bounds, but that play right there could open the eyes of Coach Eson and the Flames from the standpoint of that ball screen 25, 30 feet away from the rim, and then the direct rim runner by Contreras here left him wide open. So we see the little ball screen and Slip taking advantage of good spacing. Boy, if they do that every time, Sammy, they're going to get a lot of good looks.
So the foul before the bucket, Flames will throw it in as Contreras sits, gets some rest, and Ciani comes in for the Flames. 7 points, 3 rebounds so far for Ciani, who passes to Skobal. A 3 is good.
Well, the Flames and Skobal needed that one badly. Keep this game a 1-point game, but nice set play and good post-to-post action between Ciani and Skobal.
Skobal shoots it 50% from downtown. Likely not his final 3. Starts to Howard. Pushing in. He gets fouled. And free throws coming for Isaiah Howard.
You know, the Bulldogs' offense is very predictable, but most good offenses are. It's just the execution is so precise that if the defense makes one mistake or they're off a half a step, it's gonna create opportunities. And again, at halftime, the Flames are gonna have to establish how they want to guard this ball screen, this ball exchange, if you call it, because right now the Bulldogs are just tearing it up.
Tearing it up, but only up 1 right now, as Howard continues to struggle from the charity stripe. He is 1 of 7 on the season. Freshman out of Plattsburgh, Missouri. Makes his 2nd of the season.
Yeah, if you're going to be a player like Howard in this conference and you're going to get to the rim as much as he does, you're going to have to knock down free throws or else you'll become a target to foul.
Yeah, really no choice. 6'5" freshman, was first-team Missouri All-State. He scored almost 35 points per game as a senior as Freeman cashes from 3.
Nice little quick hitter by Coach Eson that time, and Coach McCollum not liking that one at all.
And the Flames have retaken the lead. Approaching the minute mark. Starts. Little mismatch and smartly takes it out.
And right now, yeah, get out of his way. Let Sturts utilize that mismatch with Ciani.
The fake. Down to Banks. 5 on the shot clock. It's Jackson against Skobal. And just sort of a desperate shot. Somehow got it. And officials are calling possibly for a review.
I don't know what they're going to call that. That one looks clear as day. I think he got that off in plenty of time. Nice little penetration. Actually, good defensive help by the Flames, but I think he got that one off in more than enough time. But, Sammy, as we come down here with 45.5 seconds left, 1-point game, we're starting to see finally both teams settle in a little bit more to what they do well. Flames having a little bit better offensive execution, setting good screens, trying to understand how to play against this tremendous Drake defense, and Drake becoming a little bit more patient now on offense to get some better looking opportunities.
That wasn't a great-looking opportunity, but a great-looking finish.
Well,
Clearly got it off.
Yeah, from the standpoint of, like, we've seen how many turnovers do they have now? They have 8 turnovers at half, which is just totally uncharacteristic of a Coach McCullum coach team and the Drake Bulldogs. And so they're starting to learn how to not get rushed by this Flame defense at times.
And now Flames in no rush. 15-second differential here. Mason, Freeman, teardrop a bit off. But there was contact and a Drake foul, which is team foul 7, which means free throws for Freeman.
Yeah, I don't know who they called that on. They call that one on Sturts, possibly? No?
It's going to go on Banks.
Okay, so just a little bit of action, banging down low. Big free throws for Sasha Siani here.
And he misses the big one. Siani on the season, 55% free throw shooter. Get that up even 5-10%. Makes a huge difference in conference play. And here Sturts. Down to Banks, and his shot misses, but right there for cleanup is Ferguson, who got a foul on the putback.
You have to credit the Drake Bulldogs in the way they attack the offensive glass and rebounding, Sam. They go after that ball like it's the last meal they're ever going to have. Literally 2 times during that possession, they essentially ripped the ball out of the Flame hand. They're kind of like the hungry dog that wants the ball best. And when you're the aggressor, the ball on the post, because teams, the Missouri Valley Conference is one of the best coached teams in the country, and they're going to see that Drake at times struggles when the ball goes down to the post and their lack of size.
They also struggle at the charity stripe. And right now, a look at Nate Ferguson, who's 7 of 17 on the season.
Yeah, which is just something you really wouldn't expect.
At the 12-second mark, Ferguson splits him. So one more shot for the Flames against one of the top defenses in the country. 6 seconds to score. Mason gets fouled, and Flames in the bonus, so free throws.
One-on-one dribble penetration proving to be somewhat successful for the Flames in the first half, Sam. We see that time that, you know, there's no match for superior foot speed. And if you have a mismatch in terms of that, you can punch through that pack line defense if it isn't set early enough.
Mason hits the Flames' 3rd free throw of the day. Go Manyao for Howard for Drake. Henderson getting some coaching with just a couple ticks left to tie it. Not there. Drake, one last chance. It's Mascari. Didn't get it off. And we go to halftime. A Drake team with 12 wins in a row and an undefeated record. It's getting a test on New Year's Day in Chicago. Drake by 1 at halftime. Are ready for half 2. Bennett Sturts, the top scorer, assister, and steals leader in the Missouri Valley, has carved up the Flames so far, but his undefeated Drake Bulldogs only up 1 with 20 to go.
And the Flames coming right out of the gate in a 2-3 zone.
And just trying to disrupt things, change the rhythm of this Drake offense as Mascari goes for 3. And rebound goes to Skobal.
Well, they got exactly what they wanted out of that possession as well, Sam. A challenge, bad 3 by Drake, and a quick early 3. Very unlike the Bulldogs to take a shot that quick and that simple.
What is it about switching from man-to-man to a 2-3 zone that can ruffle the feathers?
Well, you know, Rick Pitino said at one time, sometimes he switches up from man-to-man to zone just to take you out of your man-to-man offense, and it was an effective that time for the Flames.
Ty Freeman, Javon Jackson. He's been a maestro late in games. And Siani gets it plucked away. That's Manyao's 2nd steal.
Yeah, the post-entry pass is a lost art that is not taught anymore. There's just no excuse for that. A direct, open, wing-to-block pass should be made very easily.
Abreu, Sturts just wide open, and he cashes in.
Well, critical error by the Flames, a nice knockdown by Sturts that time. Again, no communication off the ball for the Flames on defense.
17 points and nearly perfect shooting for Sturts. Nice reverse. Henderson short on a 3. Sturts the board. He's running and fouled by Henderson. Well, Arch Madness is coming up soon, and tickets are available. Four-point lead for Drake. Just 90 seconds into the second half. A happy new year from all of us to you here in Chicago. Jackson up top. And now Sturts going to work.
Flames back into man-to-man.
Sturts, another 3 this time. Short, but a second chance. As the whistle blows, shot clock reset. Not sure that three-pointer from Sturts hit anything.
Yeah, that time, lack of discipline on defense by Freeman that time. He thought that Ciani was going to get the board that time. He took off down the other end and gave up the pass back out. Little details and little possessions like that matter, Sam. At the end of the game, how many times have we seen a game come down to 1 or 2 possessions at the end?
And for UIC, we've seen a ton of that during this 4-game win streak, including 7 points in 30 seconds to storm back and force overtime against Little Rock a couple weeks ago, and then Flames go on to win in overtime. So take me through this one.
Yeah, I mean, nice little step back by Sturts, but, you know, Ciani should have got that board. You have to credit Drake with hustling after it and then throwing the ball back out. You know, that's just a heads-up play all the way around by the Bulldogs.
So referees at the table just got to reset the shot clock now. By the way, for those of you just tuning in, Drake UIC meeting now for just the 13th time. UIC still pretty new to the Valley, so 13 meetings now. Drake has actually won 10 of the previous 12, including the last 5. So Flames looking to get off the schneid as Ciani rips it away, and then Manyao is called for a foul, poking it back.
Yeah, I mean, nice clean block by Ciani that time, using his length. I don't know what Coach McCullum wanted on that possession, but heads-up play all the way around by the Flames.
Flames looking for their first bucket of half 2. Ciani storming in. Ciani looking pretty.
Well, there's your point forward for the Flames, right? I mean, how uncharacteristic of that is him, but they'll take it any way they can get it at this point.
9 points, 4 of 5 shooting for the big man from Slovenia. It's Jackson. Abreu back to Sturts. Sturts. Probing. Now it's Manyao and a foul.
Yeah, and again, that time, the way that the Flames are guarding that ball screen, again, zoning up with no pressure on the ball carrier coming off the screen by the big man for the Flames, led to that one again. That's just impossible to defend when you zone up. We'll see on the replay here, Sturts doing his thing. Freeman goes over the top. Ciani has to step up 1 or 2 more steps to make that pass difficult, and then when he challenges the shot, goes straight up. Can't give up 3-point plays to this Drake team if you want to have a chance to win.
Cherry on top of that 3-point play. But Manyao's really been the great complement to Sturts. Team's leading rebounder now has 11 as 3-point miss goes to Abreu. Flames have come up empty to start half 2.
Yeah, Scoball has to knock those down. You know, a pick and pop like that where he's wide open, that's what he does.
Sturts, a little shake and bake. The junior from Missouri. Now to Mascari, step back 3. And he stays pretty cold so far in his return to the Chicagoland area. Here's Freeman. Flames offense just looking to get cooking a little bit. The speedy Henderson. Little off.
Yeah.
Rebound to Manyao.
Flames with 2 good looks. Back-to-back possessions, just not knocking down the shot. And, this matchup of Freeman on Sturts right now is interesting. We'll see how this pans out.
Now it's Henderson on him. A screen. Sturts back to Manyow. Coughed it up, and Drake ends up back with it. The patient Sturts weaving in. Sturts off the glass has 19.
Well, you talk about player usage on a team. Sturts, high level of usage for the Bulldogs, and it's somebody you want to see have the ball in their hand as much as possible.
Jackson is wide open for 2. He's got 3 and arrive to the undefeated Drake Bulldogs. Sam Brief, Chris Sparks with you. Sparks, you told me the Flames might need 75 plus to take down Drake. That number looks chunky, but they're within a couple possessions.
Well, it's my guarantee if they hit that number, which I don't think they're going to, then they would win for sure.
Sturts for 3 in the corner.
Nice adjustment by Coach McCollum at halftime there against this three-quarter court pressure of spacing it out, taking your time, and finding Sturts wide open.
22 for Bennett Sturts. And now Consleris looking for the answer. Through 2, he gets it.
I mean, that's easy money for the Flames down low. I don't know why they just don't look for that every possession to get 1 or 2 touches in the paint like that to get some easy baskets.
Consleris now with 4 points, 2 of 3 shooting. Flames bigs have had their way, but still down a couple possessions. Sturts. Schoball's on him, and there's a no-look pass to Abreu. Abreu amongst the trees. Step back shot is good.
Well, that was a tough shot, but that whole situation set up by a poor closeout by Mason that time.
And then a transition foul.
At the helm, you got a chance. Rick Barnes, proving himself to be just one of the all-time great coaches in college basketball, no matter where he goes.
Yeah, Oliver Rue, the center for Florida, 7'9". 7'9", Florida Gator center. The tallest in the world. Well, we're not quite 7'9", neither is Philip Schoball, but the Flames are competitive so far. They've just struggled to stop the Drake machine. Opening half 2, Bulldogs have hit each of their last 3 shots, and Bennett Sturts, 22 points, 9 of 11 shooting. Looks like a front runner for Conference Player of the Year so far. Jackson, Freeman, down to Consleris, against Sturts, can't win the battle, and board ripped by Banks.
Yeah, that was a great call by Coach Eson to run that isolation play, and Consleris needs to knock those down. The Flames, if they want to have a chance, need to execute those type of plays.
Abreu. Down to Isaiah Jackson. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Behind the back, Jackson finishes.
Nasty play by Sturts that time.
His 7th assist, the best yet. And then Freeman with the response from downtown.
Well, the Flames absolutely needed that basket by Freeman. And right now, Bennett Sturts is just carving up the Flames on offense. If I was UIC Coach Eson, I'd look at going back to that 2-3 zone just to negate him a little bit.
And the big man, Consleris, is on him now. Banks, Abreu back to Sturts. This is who you want if you're a Drake fan. To Banks with 3. Banks, the turnaround. And not there, rebound Freeman.
Nice defensive possession by the Flames that time. And we can see the length of Consleris negating Sturts, if only for 1 possession.
Jackson with speed. Consleris throws it to the courtside seats.
Yeah, just attention to detail right there. You have to execute that pass. Consleris needs to figure out a way to come down with that one on 2 feet and stabilize himself.
You mentioned Sturts having his way against UIC. He's one of 4 transfers who came with Coach McCollum from Northwest Missouri State, D2 Power, to Drake this year. And Sturtz has been the best of the bunch by far as a UIC foul goes against Pickett.
And, it'll be interesting to see as Coach McCollum goes on in years here at Drake and their team does as well, how he adjusts to the portal in the era of NIL. I mean, certainly this first year bringing over the core of his team and, players like Bennett Sturtz, how is he going to recruit? It'll be something to see the next 2 or 3 years here, but certainly an outstanding first season for Coach McCollum.
Mascari from the top of the key. The local kid makes his first shot. Out of Geneva High School with a big contingent of family here to watch him.
Right now, we see the Flames just struggling without Siani, and as they usually do, they need to find a way to get him back in immediately.
And a Drake foul gets called on the perimeter. With a chorus of boos from the Drake faithful in Chicago, it's against Mascari.
Yeah, interesting to see physical play that time. I think the Flames coming off this ball screen here, and good pressure. Looked like Freeman maybe gave Sturtz a little forearm shiver.
Well, nothing a little forearm shiver can't solve. Jordan Mason to Freeman. Another three. He's hot.
Well, that's what he does, and that's, again, how you attack the pack line defense is a pick and pop. And Freeman coming up big for the Flames.
4 for 6 from behind the arc. And he's the first Flame in double figures with 12. But you got to stop these guys. And you got to stop 14 in blue. Starts against Consolaris. We've seen this mismatch. Under 3, the spin, and Abreu too strong. They're out of time.
Well, a solid defensive possession for UIC. We'll see what they can do if they can continue it in this next segment here, Sammy.
Timeout here. 7-point lead for Drake. Unbeaten record. Under 12. It's Jordan Mason for the Flames. Trying to get by Mascari. Mason, the fall away, just falls.
If he wants to stay in the game, he has to do that almost every possession. Right now, his defense in the half court for the Flames has not been good. So he has to differentiate himself and add value some way out there.
And 7 points for Mason now. Abreu back to Sturtz, who has led everyone with 22.
Well, Sturtz likes this matchup now. He hates Consolaris, but he likes Freeman.
He's got Consolaris on him. And he triggers a 3. Air ball.
What'd I tell you?
Hates Consolaris.
Length is a killer. If you're an offensive player and a guy like Sturtz who uses hesitations a lot, and his weapon is the possibility of his step back 3, and you have that type of length, it just disrupts your entire game.
And it takes a lot to disrupt him. Although maybe not, just a little bit of length.
Just a 6'10" or 7-foot wingspan. That's
okay,
all.
that is a lot.
Yeah.
At least for guys like us. Here's Jackson off a screen. Flames looking for rhythm. Jackson. Mason for 3. Got it.
Well, like we said, Mason had to step up, and he's certainly doing it. And that was a picture-perfect attack against the pack line defense, where they drew in the defense and kicked for the wide-open 3. Really good execution by the Flames.
10 points. He joins Freeman in double figures. Howard. Nice feed. Mania, the dunk. Foul was before.
I feel Coach McCollum here. I really feel him right there. That time, play called on the ground. That's one, as an official, do you say we're going to let it go? Because Flames, they knew they were beat that time on defense. That was Jackson knew he was beat, and he just held him. Wow.
And then Mania with a grown man slam that does not count. Sturtz stuffed by Consolaris, but that's a goaltend, and Sturtz scores his 24th point.
Yeah, again, his eyes just get wide open anytime Canceleris isn't guarding him, and he knows to attack. And, you know, if you're the Flames, you got to help your teammate out a little bit, Sam. You got to come over and challenge that shot earlier.
Sturtz, 24 points. He's played every minute of the game. Jackson spins. Canceleris.
Oh, that was a double dribble.
After getting away with it, the post up. Big Mo, and one.
Well, it's interesting. You know, we were talking about how the Flames were struggling just a few minutes ago without Siani in, and he still isn't in, and they've made a nice little comeback as we see Canceleris here just again backing down and using his athleticism and length to get the basket. We've seen Coach Isan do this a couple times where he'll take Siani out for extended periods of time. Would love to know the reasoning for that, but it's working for the Flames.
And Canceleris can't polish it. Pickett boards it. So Flames with a chance to tie or even take the lead.
You know, and to go to that point even further, maybe they just knew that they were getting beat on this ball screen by Drake so much defensively with Siani, and that's why they made the change.
And Canceleris has been a force defensively. Mason ties it.
Wow.
Flames have hit their last 6 shots.
Wow.
And weaseled their way back. 12-0 Drake. Getting a test to open 2025. It's Magnow. Sturtz. He always takes this down to at least 5. Now, Howard, the Euro. Not there. Offensive board and a fresh 20.
Too many offensive boards for Drake, and the Flames just not initiating contact or maintaining that contact as well when the ball goes up. You can't give Drake second and third chances.
Howard. For Magnow, no, and it's Flames ball.
Well, I tell you what, Sammy, this is why I didn't think that Drake would maintain that #1 team in mid-major or that 27th ranking, is because we're starting to see with how good Sturtz is that they really are offensively a one-dimensional team, and it can get them in trouble at times. Teams will get the video on you in your systems as the season goes along. They will begin to exploit those differences. We'll see an array of ways that Sturtz is guarded to try and negate the Drake offense in future games.
Now Sturtz doing the guarding as Jackson gives UIC the lead.
Well, and again, smart heads-up play. Sturtz doesn't want to get in foul trouble, and neither does his coach, and so they're just continuing to attack him and make him play physical defense. That time, he just gave up, let the easy layup go.
And Sturtz coughs it up. Flames with all the energy. It's a 14-2 run over the last day. And coming out of this timeout, interesting, Siani, who has sat almost the entire second half, is staying on the bench.
Yeah, interesting to see now. I wouldn't have brought Skobal back in unless you're just going to do pick-and-pop threes.
Here's Jackson all by himself, and rebound to Mascari.
You know, the lineup that they had in previous to this timeout was switchable 1 through 5, and now with Skobal in, they're not.
Down 2 without a loss. Sturtz against the pesky Canceleris.
Yeah, just leave them on him. Don't switch.
And they switch to Mason. Now back to Big Mo. With 5, Sturtz. And 1.
Wow. Tough shot.
How does he do it? 26 points.
You know, Sturtz, he's a fundamentally sound player. He's the type of guy that every coach wants to have on his team, but he's got a little bit of funk in his game, too. Nice little up and under there.
Just will the ball into the basket. That's what he's done this year as the Valley's top scorer, now at 27 points.
You know, you look at a guy like him that comes from a Division II team, and people might think that there's going to be some sort of gap in playing against, you know, this level of play, but just goes to show how high level of play the top-tier Division II teams are in the country.
And he comes from one of the best of them in Northwest Missouri State. He won 2 championships in the last couple seasons. Off the Pickett miss that went over the backboard. And it's Drake ball.
That was a clinical offensive possession by the Flames that time. Again, taking advantage of how much Drake loads to the ball and overhelps. They got a wide open look. Got to knock those down.
Go back to Sturts. So he spent 2 seasons at Northwest Missouri State, all-conference second-teamer both times. It would take a lot for him not to be a first-teamer in the Valley this year in the way he's playing. Pickett's on him now. Haven't seen much of this matchup. And then Sturts cooking over Pickett, the miss.
Jeez. I think it's obvious to see early on in this season and certainly this game, Sam, that Drake offensively lives and dies with what Bennett Sturts can do.
And he can do a lot. Bordering on 30 points, 10 assists. Mason under 10. Jackson, long 3. And he left it long, but fouled by Mascari. That's Mascari's 4th. And importantly, 3 free throws for Javon Jackson.
Well, that time Mason left Jackson hanging. That's an NBA trick a lot of NBA guys will do. If they don't have anything open with like 5 or 6 seconds left, they'll dump the ball off to someone else so they either get the missed shot or the turnover. That time Jackson had a good look at it, and the Flames get bailed out with a foul down low.
Another look at Mascari's 4th. Right away, pleading to the near official, Tony Padilla, as Jackson gives the Flames the lead again.
Yeah, I think this is a good move by Coach Eson, getting Scoball back out of there, going with the more athletic, mobile lineup with the Flames on defense.
And something must be up with Siani, because he's still sitting on the bench. 7 points, 2 rebounds, and only 17 minutes.
It could just come down to scheme, that it wasn't working defensively with him in the game.
The Flames' best player by the numbers, but maybe not fit for this one.
Well,
approaching 5.
Yeah, a lot of that, again, goes back to what are you going to emphasize, and they weren't overly emphasizing him on offense, and he was almost a liability on defense.
On the pick and roll, Banks has it easy.
Yeah, just nice heads-up play by Drake, and again, bad help-side defense by the Flames.
Tied again as Sturts gets a charge.
Little bit of an acting call by Sturts there, but again, if you're the aggressor, you're going to get the calls. I don't know if I was an official, I necessarily would have called that one. That time just looked like Freeman was looking to establish himself, and Sturts with a heads-up play.
You see the very tail end of the charge called against UIC. Both teams now at 6 fouls, so for both teams, next foul means free throws, a 1-1.
And Sammy, what did I say that UIC needed to do to guarantee victory in this game?
73 points.
It's getting close.
Banks was rejected. Mason trying to save it. It'll stay here with Drake.
I would almost go with, I think 70 points at the minimum is what I said, and the Flames offense certainly turning up this half.
And a Flames ball, by the way. Yeah, they have turned up, Sparks. I mean, Drake averages 56 points per game for their opponents. That's the second best in the country. And the Flames are already over that.
With significant time left.
Yeah. I mean, Drake doesn't allow 70 points just like that. You've got to fight. Jordan Mason off to Jackson. He heats up late. Mason working us towards the 4-minute mark. In a tie game on New Year's Day. Mason's teardrop good.
Well, he certainly has turned it up offensively in this smaller lineup. Really nice finishing and offensive power for Mason.
12 points for Jordan Mason. And almost all of them in the second half. Sturts for 3. Yes! Lead is back with Drake.
What a play.
And Sturts at 30. What a monster performance as Mason looks for answers. A three of his own is good. And the lead back to UIC.
What a game. What a game. Right now, you know, if I want to try and create a little bit of separation, I'm going to try and pressure Sturtz a little bit more. And if he doesn't have the ball, face guard him so he can't get it back. I mean, literally 50% of Drake's offensive production coming from one person.
Ferguson over Pickett to tie us at 63. And Ben McCollum calls a Drake timeout. New Year's Day in Chicago, and the fireworks are coming in the afternoon. UIC Drake tie game in Chicago. And this one getting spicy. Sam Brief, Chris Sparks with you. Happy New Year. Well, Mr. Sparks, UIC's actually scoring against Drake and looking good.
I mean, what a game, you know, and I really don't look at this, even though record-wise it might be an upset, Sammy. I don't really look at it as a potential upset now just because of the matchups. You know, again, looking at Drake with they're just kind of all the same size, same position, and the Flames with their athleticism and a little bit of height and length advantage at some positions are taking advantage of that. What a game either way.
Flames have lost their last 5 games against Drake. Haven't beat him since the turn of the millennium in 2000. Now a quarter of the way through that millennium. Mason has had an electric second half. And Jackson comes up empty. Hard fall, too.
Wow. Good physical defense by the Bulldogs on that possession.
And now it's with Sturtz, who has 30 points. A monster performance, season high for him. Previously had 29 against Valpo. Banks with the right hand, and then it's swatted away by his teammate, UIC ball.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything like this in a long time at the Division I level, Sam, where you have one player that literally is maintaining 90% of the ball coverage or possession during a game like Sturtz is.
Jackson splits the D and the foul.
What a big-time finish that time by Jackson. I mean, you see him turn the corner here and then not only elevate, play through the contact, but holds a nice little kind of right-handed hook shot in there like that. If I'm Coach Isan, I'm just doing that every possession. Spread the floor out. Let these Flame guards use their athleticism against the Drake guards. Go one-on-one.
Totally new look Flames program under Coach Isan, right? 11 new players. And part of the pitch was, hey, we're going to play with pace. A lot of speed, a lot of athleticism. And their biggest game yet, that is showing off big time.
Yeah, the best coaches make the best adjustments. And, again, this adjustment that Coach Isan, and what a risk it took. Taking Siani out early in the second half has paid off.
But by the numbers, the Flames' best player still on the bench. That bump, no call. Sturtz on Schkobal.
Don't let him get it back if I'm the Flames.
Sturtz for 3. Not that time. Offensive board, Manyow. 100 seconds. Undefeated Drake down 3. Sturtz. Mascari. Who do you go to?
Well, you face guard Sturtz.
Abreu in the corner, fouled by Kinsleris.
Yeah, just not a heads-up play by Kinsleris. He knew that. You have to credit Abreu with a tough shot there that time.
We see Siani still sits.
Yeah, and I will find out after the game what's going on there. But, again, you know, Drake does such a good job of offensive rebounding, and the Flames not doing a good job of maintaining some tough physical contact when that shot goes up.
Big free throws for Abreu. Mason back in for the Flames. Jordan Mason has been so key to this comeback. 12 points in the second half. As Drake's sharpshooter sits, little offense-defense switch. 1-point game. For all the talk about what Drake has done, how about UIC? 4 wins in a row, and most of them come from behind. They've been down for much of today. Mason gets that screen. Mason, the kick. Freeman, the 3. Bingo! Lead balloons to 4. Timeout on the floor. Drake on the ropes. Without a loss this season, down 2 possessions. Minute to go on New Year's Day. Welcome back. Bulldog ball. Sturts a corner 3. Not there. Gets his own board.
Boy, just inexcusable for the shooter to get his own rebound there.
Second life, Abreu. Can't hit it. Board for Banks, and we got a tie-up.
See, did he call a foul or did he call a jump ball on this possession?
Officials got to sort it out.
I think they got a foul.
And looks like a foul against UIC's Consolaris.
Well, you know, again, we've talked about all game, Sam, how the Flames do not initiate and maintain good contact for defensive rebounding. And we're showing that 2 straight possessions. You cannot give a team as skilled as the Drake Bulldogs extra opportunities. A minute left, 38 seconds left, and you're up by 4. You just can't do that.
Both teams go to their huddles now. Consolaris seems a little banged up, but he was called for the foul. Free throws are coming for Tavion Banks. A 68% free throw shooter. And if you're Drake, you are praying for 2 makes.
Well, and this is interesting. I mean, Skobal comes back in. Hopefully that's for rebounding purposes here.
He's not seemed to take a hard fall.
Yeah, I mean, Skobal's not a great rebounder, but he's a good one. He has to use his size.
Huge free throws. And Banks rattles home the first.
See that heads-up play by Abreu that time with a little cross on the shot here. We'll see if they do this again on the free throw and if the Flames can get a rebound here if he misses.
He does. Pickett secures the board.
Burn clock. Burn clock here, Sammy.
It's a 3-point game. Drake not fouling yet, and there it is. Hard foul committed by Abreu.
Jackson with a dangerous play, jumping in the air that time. When you do that as a point guard, you commit that time to try and pass the ball. Dangerous play, kind of got bailed out by getting the foul that time.
And Jackson's been ice from free throw. 80% on the season, one of UIC's best. Howard for Mascari on the Drake side. Jackson can start to ice it, and it's a 4-point game. Last UIC win against Drake was the 4th of December, 2000, here in Chicago. Only 2-10 all time. And a 5-point lead. Now Bennett Sturts has scored or assisted 23 of Drake's 26 buckets. Gives it up. Abreu, teardrop, rattles in. 1 possession game. Trying not to foul Jackson, but Manyao has to.
Wow, Manu with a slap to the face on that one. Jackson will feel that. So right now, again, this just comes down to precision and poise in these situations, Sammy. You can't turn the ball over. And the way you do that is you have a very simple idea of what you're going to do and make sure that everybody's on the same page. We see here, nice little floater there by Abreu. Flames do a good job of getting the ball into a ball handler, and Jackson drawing the foul.
Jackson stays perfect from the stripe. A 2-possession game in a super entertaining show. 11 lead changes and 10 ties. Flames by 5. Timeout Drake. Drake gives up 56 a game for context. tremendous. Mitch Miscari triggers. Here is Sturtz. Quick, long three, no. Tip for Manyow, no. Out of bounds, we stay here.
Again, another opportunity for the Flames to get a rebound, and they don't do it. There's plenty of time in this game for Drake to come back.
7.7 can be an eternity. Drake has not lost since March in the NCAA tournament, falling to 7-seeded Washington State. They have romped through college basketball to start the season. Here's Miscari, a last gasp. Strong, Manyow, no. Manyow, yes, on the third chance.
I mean, yeah, and here we see everyone lining up on the baseline. We'll see if somebody just takes off and runs down the other end.
It's like a football play. Jackson fouled quickly. And more free throws in the offing.
Well, I mean, he just needs to knock down one to put this one away.
It's been a three-headed monster, really. Jordan Mason with 17. Ty Freeman with 15, and this guy, Javon Jackson, 15 points, 9 of them from the charity stripe. To ice it. And the suspense grows. It's never easy against a program like Drake. Two-possession lead. And now for a miracle. Pickett snares it. And down goes Drake.